Good morning, evening, or night. Wherever you are, welcome to WHAM today. Take a deep breath, clear your mind, and let's drift through the whispers of today's world, one quiet thought at a time, as we wrap up Sunday, 22nd June, 2025. Let's see what stories are unfolding around us. Israel is currently grappling with economic pressures amid ongoing conflicts. The government is relying on increased taxes and the robustness of its high-tech sector to maintain financial stability. Concurrently, rising tensions with Iran are fueling fears of disruptions to oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz. Israel has been conducting missile strikes on Iranian oil and gas infrastructure. These actions could significantly impact Iran's economy. Military exchanges include Israeli airstrikes targeting Iranian military figures and strikes within Tehran. After Iranian missile launches, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, have allegedly attacked Iran's heavy water nuclear reactor. Tehran has reportedly struck a hospital in Israel. The IDF chief commented on global attention to Israel's actions. Moreover, Israel is reportedly seeking as bunker-buster bombs to target Iran's Fordo nuclear facility. NATO is enhancing its deterrence measures, designed to counter potential Russian aggression. These plans navigate the nuances between European and American perspectives on the nature of the threat posed by Russia. The United States deployed B-2 stealth bombers and refueling aircraft to the Middle East, a move that took place amid escalating tensions involving Israel and Iran. The U.S. then launched strikes targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, utilizing both bunker-buster bombs and cruise missiles. Former President Trump claimed the targeted sites were totally obliterated. In response, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, threatened retaliation against the U.S., leading the Home Front Command to impose stricter security measures. Global security concerns extend beyond these tensions, with speculation surrounding possible actions against Iran. China's ambiguous activities in space also raise concerns. The U.S. Army is actively working to boost its artillery production capabilities. The United States Air Force conducted targeted strikes against Iranian nuclear sites, employing B-2 Spirit stealth bombers in what has been characterized as the Trump administration's most audacious foreign policy endeavor. These strikes are believed to have set back Iran's nuclear ambitions by about half a year. Iran responded by threatening long-term retaliation and labeling all American military personnel as valid targets. The attacks also caused interruptions to international air travel. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that the strikes were carried out in complete coordination with Israel, adding to regional tensions. The Israeli Air Force, IFF, reportedly eliminated an Iranian aerial refueling tanker at a distance of 14 miles from Israel, representing their most extended range operation to date. United Kingdom. The UK is considering reinstating air-launched tactical nuclear weapons amid evolving security challenges. Concurrently, a comprehensive review of the AUKUS Security Pact is in progress, following high-level talks between UK defence officials and their Australian counterpart. Adding to the security concerns, pro-Palestinian activists recently inflicted damage on UK military aircraft stationed at RAF Bryce Norton, an incident that has triggered an active police investigation. The UK currently maintains a notable military presence in the Middle East, which includes fighter jets, air refueling capabilities, and a naval frigate. Ukraine has formally declared its aspiration to join the Joint Expeditionary Force, JEF, a multinational military alliance focused on security in Northern Europe. China is actively increasing its gray zone warfare tactics, now extending them into space. This mirrors its strategy in the South China Sea, raising concerns about its assertive stance. The growing importance of drone warfare aligns with China's civil-military fusion strategy. This approach provides China with a competitive edge in developing a large drone arsenal. Oleksiy Reznikov, the former Ukrainian defense chief, has pointed out China's crucial position in global supply chains related to drone technology. Australia is actively enhancing its defense capabilities through advanced weapons testing and drone technology. The National Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile System, NASAMS, is currently undergoing Sidewinder missile system testing. Complementing this, the Ghostbat drone is being tested with the E-7A Wedgetail aircraft, achieving a new flight operations milestone. Further bolstering its air power, an Australian MQ-28 drone showcased swarm flight capabilities, controlled by a single operator. Australia is also preparing to participate in the Talisman Sabre 2025 exercise, reinforcing its dedication to regional security and collaborative defense efforts. New Zealand is taking action in response to escalating global tensions. The New Zealand Defence Force will dispatch an aircraft to assist New Zealand citizens in Iran and Israel. Simultaneously, the New Zealand frigate MNS Tikar took part in a joint exercise with a UK carrier strike group. France is currently facing a disagreement with Germany regarding the future European fighter jet program, a contention that surfaced prominently during the Paris Air Show and threatens broader Franco-German military cooperation. In a separate event, the Minister of State for Defense visited Royal Saudi Air Force, RSAF, personnel at the Advanced Jet Training Detachment. The visit's connection, if any, to the Franco-German defense dispute remains unspecified. Indonesia faces escalating tensions between its police force and military. Amidst regional strategic maneuvers, Indonesia has solidified an agreement to procure Turkish stealth fighter jets, a move that has drawn keen observation from Chinese military analysts, especially concerning its implications for China's broader strategic calculations. Argentina is seeing President Javier Milei encouraging citizens to deposit an estimated $271 billion of undeclared US dollars held outside the banking system into Argentine banks. This is being presented as a demonstration of faith in the nation's economic recovery. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia are collaborating on counter-terrorism strategies, as military chiefs from both nations convened to discuss joint approaches. Brazil is seeing former President Bolsonaro and military leaders acknowledging in court testimony a conspiracy aimed at overturning democratic processes. Colombia has finalized an agreement for the acquisition of Gripen fighter aircraft, with deliveries expected to begin in September. Across Europe, travel restrictions from the United States are increasing. Airlines such as American, Air France, and Delta are reducing fares to destinations like Atlanta, Washington, and Boston, driven by the rising value of the US dollar and increased travel demand from Mexico, Canada, and the Caribbean. Companies are promoting European co-production as CSAS make their international debut. Finland is hosting Atlantic Trident 25, a joint multinational agile combat employment exercise, with the U.S. Air Force participating, deploying F-35A and F-15 Strike Eagle fighter jets. Indonesia and Turkey are seeing analysts suggest that Turkey's purported Khan fighter deal with Indonesia is primarily a public relations maneuver, indicating that Ankara is not close to finalizing the agreement. Japan and the Philippines conducted a maritime cooperative activity in the South China Sea. Japan, the Republic of Korea, and the U.S. Air Force is also engaged in trilateral defensive counter-air training. Malaysia and the United States are strengthening their bilateral ties at Bersama Warrior 2025. Method 25.3 has commenced Bersama Warrior 25 in Malaysia. The Philippines and the United States are collaborating to enhance their logistics capabilities. The U.S. Army also demonstrated anti-ship capabilities within the Philippines. The Republic of Korea saw its Air Force engage in trilateral defensive counter-air training with Japan and the U.S. Air Forces. Singapore will conduct tests involving crewed-uncrewed teaming, utilizing an H-225M helicopter in conjunction with a flex-rotor UAS DICE. Singapore and the U.S. Navies recently concluded a 12-day bilateral exercise in Guam. Spain is facing a housing crisis, with local residents attributing the issue to the increase in short-term rentals and significant investor demand, collectively driving up housing prices and creating a severe shortage. Thailand has clarified that comments attributed to the Thailand Air Force chief were misrepresented, amidst concerns regarding the border with Cambodia. Thailand is also preparing for the evacuation of its citizens from the Middle East. The United States is actively involved in several international collaborations and potential conflicts. The U.S. and Philippines are enhancing their logistics capabilities, with the U.S. Army demonstrating anti-ship potential in the Philippines. Washington and Malaysia are strengthening ties at Bersama Warrior 2025. The U.S. Air Force is participating in Atlantic Trident 25 in Finland with F-35EA and F-15 Strike Eagle fighter jets. Singapore and U.S. navies concluded a 12-day bilateral exercise in Guam. Japan, Republic of Korea, and the U.S. Air Forces conducted trilateral defensive counter-air training. Boeing asserts it can build both the F-8X and F-47, addressing concerns from the Secretary of the Navy, and its Air Force One work continues despite controversy over the Qatar plane conversion. Reports also indicate the United States has entered the Iranian-Israeli war. And that's a wrap for today's news, because even headlines need a nap. Stay curious, stay kind, and let the noise fade as you find your quiet. Take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time on WHAM Today.